Dr. Lucani. Well, my name is Joy Hosey, and I live here locally in Ashland. I'm a relationship coach, a teacher, and a healer that combines many modalities into my practice. But everything having to do with my practice has to do with relationship. I work with people in embodiment process. I work with them in being able to be connected to their own soul and self-awareness, and then that extends to relating to other. On a more meta level, what research has found is that relationships thrive, that people actually think and feel better if there's a 5-to-1 ratio of appreciation to complaint or some level of expectation that needs to change.
That's a good ratio, yeah.
Right. So if you look at your relationship and kind of get a sense of where the ratio is, that kind of already gives you a baseline of how healthy is my relationship, how kind of forward-moving is it, how expansive, how joyful, or where is there a place where I'm getting stuck? Am I complaining about my partner more than appreciating them, and why is that? And so what I help people to do in my classes, workshops, and private sessions is to kind of turn around that ratio in a way that's really a natural phenomenon of us just getting more connected to ourselves, more connected to what's true for us, getting more in our body, and therefore seeing the beloved for the lovely being that we fell in love with in the first place. Appreciation requires really being present. If you're doing it masterfully, you can't be in the past or the future. You really need to be present in your body. I'm big in embodiment. All of my practices that I do with people work on that first. Because quite frankly, I see that most of the problems people have in their lives, and certainly in their relationship, is one, they don't know what they're feeling. They don't even know what sensations are going on in the body, let alone what emotions are happening. So that's a huge piece of being able to get present, know what's going on, what's true for you, and then to be in that truth with somebody else. For me, an art comes from an internal passion, right? All artists have a passionate soul. There's something that they desire so completely that they cannot not do it, right?
Single arrow.
Right, it's like it's the choiceless choice. They must create art. But besides that passion, there's more than that. It's, for most of us, it's practice, practice, practice. So with art, you have passion and practice. And whenever you're doing any art, in this case, the art of appreciation, you have to be able to break it down. All artists, too, had to learn usually some basic techniques. And this is what I teach people, and what I'm hoping to share today, too, with the people out here, is just that there are basic ways that you can break down the art of appreciation into doable chunks. Because, thinking about appreciation, like I said, we can think we know how to do it, but do we really? And how do we know we're doing it? And we know it when we feel it, right? But when you can start to actually consciously work with what appreciation is and what the components are, it makes a big difference. I break it down into 3 different parts. The first piece of part of appreciation, when I break it down, is giving appreciation. And most people think, oh, giving appreciation, I know how to do that. You're a wonderful human being. I really like you. Oh, that was a good job. And that's a good start, right? It's better than criticism. But what we really want to do in appreciation is take that moment to connect with my body and my breath when I'm appreciating people. Really notice how their presence, how their being, how their actions have affected me. Because there's usually some feeling of gratitude there, right? There's something like, or admiration at the very least, like, wow, that person, I really appreciate the way, they did something. So being specific when you're giving appreciation is really key. First, it's getting present, connecting with your own body and your own breath, because you can feel the difference when somebody says to you, I'm going to give you an example here. Well, I really appreciate that you brought me on the show, and I think it's really great to be here. Thanks a lot. As opposed to, I feel your presence through your eyes, and since the moment I met you today, you've helped me feel connected to my own body, and I so appreciate that. Holding hands with you before we started made a big difference to me, and just being able to be here. Thank you. So the second part in the art of appreciation is about receiving. Because most of us, and this is a big one for me, I've been a much better giver in my life than a receiver. And I've had to open up and learn how to receive and deal with all of whatever came up for me and feeling that I was deserving to receive, which is really what's going on for people. They don't feel on some level that they deserve to receive appreciation or the money or whatever it is. So being able again to take a breath when somebody appreciates me or you, whoever it is, to breathe, settle in, and open up to fully receive the gratitude, the appreciation that somebody's giving you. And in that, the person giving receives so much too.
Yes.
So you're right, it's that reciprocal process. But for whatever reason in our culture and our life, we've found so many ways to stymie that process. And a big part of it is the receptivity. Being able to because there's a level of vulnerability, you know, and surrender that comes when you fully receive somebody. I mean, it happens for me where it's like this kind of nervous, sweet kind of shyness that can come up and make me want to retreat. So my practice has been to breathe deeply and open and feel my body and allow that person's appreciation in, and through that the circuit is complete. And we both know it when that's happened. It's a beautiful thing. There's three aspects. There's the giving, there's the receiving, and there's asking. Because we do not read each other's minds. You know? So this is part of a quality of being able to request what it is that you want. To not be demanding, wonderful. But to be able to request from somebody what it is that would most please you. Dr. Gary Chapman has a wonderful thing called the 5 Love Languages that I'd like to put out. It's a great book for anybody who wants to get more plugged into, you know, how they can appreciate better, because unlike do unto your neighbors you would do unto you, there's a certain twist with appreciation because different people like different forms of appreciation. I always start with appreciation first because the battle is always there, ready and willing and waiting. Complaints and judgment and blame, it's all, it's there for most of us. Resentments, however it shows up. So, but in appreciation, the 5 love languages that Dr. Chapman laid out so nicely are, there is being able to give gifts. There are people who are excellent gift givers. They can think of the most thoughtful gift that you might appreciate, right? There are verbal appreciations, which we talked about, being very loving and appreciative verbally with your partner and complimenting them and appreciating them for what they do. There's touch and nonverbal appreciation, those people who show their love and attention through touching their partner and making contact. Then there's one of my favorites is being of service. So I know it touches me deeply a lot of times when my partner I'll come home and he'll have washed the windows, you know, which for somebody else maybe not a big deal, but for me it's like, oh, he noticed that the windows and he knows the windows are important to me. Look, he did a service and cleaned these windows for me. And then finally there's the art of quality presence or attention. Those of us who really just so crave our partner to be there. It doesn't have to be even verbal, but being present and having quality time with them. So those are the 5 things. And what we'll find is what I ask with people in workshops and with partners is I have them stack these 5 things: gift giving, verbal appreciation, touch or nonverbal, acts of service, and then quality presence, attention. And see how they stack for them, what they love to receive most. Because what I find with people is they will most give, just like how we're wired is, we give what we most want to receive. So if I love acts of service, that's what I'm going to try to do for you, right? I get excited about this. I feel very impassioned about people being able to have the joyful relationships that they've always wanted, because I've made this happen in my own life after many, many difficult, disastrous relationships. It can happen. It's possible.